Okay, today we're going to take cuttings. It's fall of the year and there's some things that it's a little bit late for some of these things, but um, we live in such a mild place that we should be fine. We're going to root some herbs and ivy geraniums. The ivy geraniums were very successful in our hanging baskets this year, and they are require a lot less water than the calibrachoas and the ipomoeas and verbenas, and so we have to water them almost every day. But on those 95-degree days, even once isn't even enough for some of those. But the ivy geraniums seem to hold up really, really well.
Yeah, it's an easier basket to have. The hanging baskets tend to dry out more than a pot on the ground.
Well, and I also pot them in pure compost, homemade compost, which is my compost. A lot of people would say isn't ready to use, but obviously looking at the plants, they're doing fine. But it doesn't hold quite as much water. Now today we'll show you we've mixed compost with coconut coir, and the coconut coir does hold a lot of water.
In fact, when we put it in the bucket and we were adding hot water, it was expanding like the opposite of like a shrinky dink. Like
It
the
really
coconut coir was
expanded a
getting
lot.
bigger
It's
and bigger.
kind of fun to use, but I don't think it has any nutrients to speak of. So it's going to be interesting to see how the plant's doing it. But anyway, what we like to do is find a way to keep the humidity up around the cuttings, because before they strike roots, it's very easy for them to stress. And the one thing you can do that helps the most is to keep the humidity really high around those leaves so that they aren't water stressed. These are some roses that we rooted. We stuck them in here on August the 12th. Today is September the 15th, so they're just really a month old. And these we rooted in a pot. We put some sticks in there to hold the plastic up and just put a plastic bag over the top. And it worked really well. These are, like I say, they're just a month old, and
Look at these roots.
they've got roots.
And we did root them indoors in our bay window
Yeah,
under a light.
under a grow light. And the nice thing about using grow lights in propagation is just that you can put them in a place where that environment is very, very constant, so you don't stress the cuttings much. So I really like modern grow lights are actually pretty wonderful.
And when they are ready to get transplanted and come outside, will we have to harden them off, the rose cuttings?
Well, I've been hardening them off out here on the patio
I guess that's true.
for
Yeah.
a few days, and we're going to pot them up today. So, but yeah, all of these, once they're rooted, you do need to uncover them and just leave them uncovered for a few days for the plant to adjust to the real world. Another way we like to do it is just in an old used. This had some kind of a pastry in it. And this is what we used in the lab at the greenhouse. We'd buy these things by the case and do hundreds and hundreds of them. But they work really nice, and they're usually free, because at least if you buy pastries, they aren't free, but
They
get
come
them
with
whether
the
you want it
pastry,
or
yeah.
not. Yeah.
And when you only need a few, that's the way to do it. You don't have to order. And we're not in a clean lab. We can just
Yeah.
wash these out and use them.
But they do need drainage holes, and that's really important. If they're in too wet of a media or too dry, the cuttings are not going to root. And if you have drainage and a good media in there, you can put the water on and not worry about overwatering. And if you feel like they're a little underwatered, you can add water and not worry about it. So the best way we found to do that is to melt holes in the pot. You can try other ways. This plastic splits and tears so easily that drilling them or cutting them is kind of hard to do. But and you can do several at a time. In the lab, we do up to 10 at a time, stack 10 of them up. But if you have a torch like this, just heat a screwdriver up, get it nice and hot. And just poke it through. It needs to be a little bit hotter. I usually put 5 holes in, but whatever. That's it. Piece of cake. The nice thing about melding them in too is, like I say, then the hole doesn't tear. Sometimes they do kind of melt together when you stack them like this.
But we haven't had any real trouble with this system. And yeah, they do melt together a little bit. But overall, we haven't had any real trouble with this system.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really happy with it. Then you want to use a good loose potting mix. This is a commercial potting mix mixed half and half with our compost. We screened the compost for this. I don't even bother to screen it for big pots, but for smaller pots and whatnot, you kind of need to. So just, you can fill the bottom tray clear full. The deeper the soil, the better the drainage. Someday we should do a video on that, showing how shallow pots hold more water than deep pots.
That would be good.
And so put it in, firm it down a little bit, and then we can take the cuttings. Don't know if I have quite enough soil here. I use a pretty coarse screen on my compost, so it's, ooh, careful.
I touched the
Screwdriver.
screwdriver. I was trying to reach the bench scraper.
So, let's take some cuttings. You can use a knife or pruners. I think I'm going to use pruners today. Pruners, you do, if they're not sharp, you do run the risk of crushing the stems, and you really don't want to do that. Let's take this out to put the cuttings in, because we're going to take a few. So this is the ivy geranium, obviously, and we're going to try to winter these over so we have them for baskets next year. Boy, this thing is got a flower at every single node. I like to cut it just below a node.
Show the note. Show what you.
The node is where the leaves join up with the stem. This area right here is going to have the most cells that's easiest for them to differentiate and turn into a root. So they just root a lot faster if you do that. Then I take off any buds or flowers.
Because is there a reason why?
Yeah, the plant will put effort into flowering because it's going to be stressed by doing this, and it thinks it needs to make seed to reproduce. It doesn't know that it's going to.
It doesn't know it's being rooted as a cutting.
Yeah, I'm going to put trash in one end and cuttings in the other.
So trash.
This is rag.
Cuttings.
If I was in the greenhouse, I would be very concerned about getting the colors right, but since this is for my house, I'm just going to root the different colors together.
Yeah, so you could sort out to make sure which ones are getting rooted where. But here we're just going to root them all because we just want to grow them all.
So I usually take the bottom 2 leaves off. You don't really need to do that, but generally they they turn yellow and fall off anyway.
Okay, wait, do one real slow if you, well, that one's hard. There we go. We can.
Okay, if you follow from the terminal end, just follow it down to second or third node and cut just below that node. And pull the flower buds off. Pull the two. Here's another flower bud. I'd like to get some of this colored one too. This one, I don't know, maybe not.
Which color is it? What? I thought there was only
It's kind of
two.
a rose color.
Oh, it's on the back side.
I actually like the red and white the best. Let's just go with
I
those.
agree.
And we only need like 3 for next year's, but well, I want to do 2 baskets though, so we need like 6 cuttings.
And we might as well.
I don't know how many cuttings I've got. There's 3, 4, 5, 6.
We might as well take them all.
We might lose a couple.
It's free.
Take 2 more.
That's the thing about knowing how to do this thing. It's like plants are free if you know how they work to an extent.
Propagation, yeah, propagation is cool because the cool thing about the difference between a gardener and an exterior decorator is gardeners have a relationship with their plants. Exterior decorators treat their plants like an object.
Oh wait, so normally you would have cut this. Whoops, this
No,
little.
that's a growing point.
Oh, I thought that was a bud for the flowers.
No, there is a bud in there, tiny one, but
Okay,
it is the growing point.
I thought it was a flower bud.
We can do one more of these variegated ones.
I like the variegated. In fact, I don't remember seeing variegated of these before.
Okay, that's enough of those. Let's quickly do a few herbs out here and then we'll stick these.
Yeah, so we have a portion of our garden that we grow perennial herbs. Well, they're meant to be perennial. Although the sage, I don't know. Is that?
Yeah, that's pretty.
So yeah, so they're all meant to be perennial. And parts of it are quite overgrown right now. But
Yeah, this lemon verbena I should have cut back months ago. But lemon verbena is cool.
yeah, and it's so good in lemonade or
Tea.
Just a lot. There's a lot of uses for it if you like
So,
lemon
Let's
flavors.
do 6 cuttings.
So it's like tip cuttings.
These are tip cutting. Well, you can do, this is a secondary, and it'll be fine. The nice thing about a lemon verbena is, see it branches at every single node really well. So, so let's do that. Here's some rosemary. Let's do a few rosemary. Let's do a couple more of these.
Okay, let me try to get a close up. So it's just one long stem, and he just cuts. Like it's not
Cut below a
anything
node again.
super scientific.
And anything else out here? Oh, let's do
Oh,
some
should we
thyme.
redo the oregano? I don't know.
Which of these thymes do you prefer? This one?
The non-lemony one. I forget which. This one is the one I prefer. I smelled it. You guys, I don't know if that showed on camera. I took a piece off and smelled it to know which one. There's a thyme here that's lemony, which is delightful. Like I would imagine on fish, it's got to be amazing.
See how I just cut a big glop of them. We'll sort that out when we get up there.
Yeah.
But you could do them one at a time, but I'm lazy. Okay, let's stick them in the dirt. Now, we do have root hormone. Most things really don't need it, but it doesn't hurt. And we did use rooting hormone on these roses, and for those to be at that stage in just 4 weeks is actually pretty good. That's as good as it would have been in the greenhouse. So I think it did help. We did trials on rooting hormones on our begonias, and it didn't speed up the rooting at all. But some varieties it increased the number of basal shoots, which is important in a red Swagonia. So, but on most varieties it didn't. And it was a pain in the butt to keep track of which was which, so we just did them all, or didn't use it on any of them. Plus it's expensive. Plus you do run the risk of spreading disease if you use a powdered one.
Yeah.
I like to use the liquids and spray it on them, and then you don't spread the disease. But okay, the cuttings are prepared. We removed the bottom leaves, and now you just stick them in.
And now, well, you'll probably talk about this, but where will you put this when it's done?
These will go under the lights.
In the bay window.
In the bay window. Yeah.
And that's where they'll root.
So the rosemary I don't worry too much about. They're a little bit tall. I'm going to top them when I get them in, just so the lid will close. Okay, and then the thyme, you sort through. Important thing is to get the basal.
Well, to know the top and the bottom for one
Yeah.
thing. So if you're not familiar with plants like crazy, you want to know, like, when you chopped it off, like this is the bottom and this is the top, and I can tell because the top has.
Yeah, thyme is a little bit hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, it can be a little bit hard to tell if you're not familiar with plants, but you can keep track by just knowing where you cut it. But you can also see if you look closely.
And a lot of these herbs are really nice ornamentals. So, like this thyme, we don't even use all the thyme we've got now, but it does make a nice ground cover.
And even the same with parsley. Parsley isn't a ground cover, though. I'm sorry, but it's
attractive.
very ornamental.
Okay, let's put the geraniums. Where did I put this?
Oh, I forgot.
I lost it. Did I take it out there?
We must have. Okay.
Yeah, here it is. Now I gotta go down and get it.
There's no way. So the only way is down the ramp,
Yes.
around. Yeah, I don't know how to edit. Through the gate, over here, and over there. Here he goes. And the chickens. Okay. Oh, close the gate! Close the gate! The chickens will get in and eat everything in seconds. They love to do a jailbreak.
Especially with no dig gardening, our soil is full of worms.
Yeah, there's so many. The first year I feel like they did eat the plants, but now when they get in, it's not that they're eating the plants; it's that they're digging for worms so much that they will dig up the living plants that we're trying to get to grow. You know, tomatoes or what have you.
Now the soil is a little bit dry. I probably would have been better if I'd have watered the soil before I stuck them and then
Yeah, I thought that too.
watered them again afterwards. But
Normally we would have, I think.
I don't think it would be a problem.
No.
So yeah, just stick them in. Stick them almost clear to the bottom. The soil's
Here,
pretty
just-
shallow.
And again, let's hold one up. So you can tell the top from the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
The leaves are on the top and the stem,
Here's the node you want.
and there's the
buried.
node.
Let's do this. Let's do that row without rooting hormone, and then let's
Okay,
do
and
a
then we'll
row
label
with
it. And here's the thing, everybody, you gotta label it. So we're gonna do one row with rooting hormone, one without, and we're gonna compare them. But if we don't label them, because this doesn't take a long time, but it takes long enough that we'll have forgotten for sure.
well, and
Which
it may be that they'll just be more strong roots with the hormone than without. You know,
Yeah.
may not change the timing. It's hard to say.
no, but I'm saying we'll forget which one is
Yeah, you
which
bet.
row is which.
I've never regretted labeling something, but I've often regretted not labeling.
Yep. And what we use for labels these days is wooden sticks, sort of like tongue compressors, like they use
Or-
at the doctors.
Or we cut up plastic jugs. Or,
Plastic, we've already bought, say, a milk jug, so we
or
cut it up.
cottage cheese carton.
And this works, but not with a marker. You do have to use a grease pen on the wood, on the plastic. Anywhere in your garden, you're better off using the grease pen.
I know people who use permanent markers, and they seem to get away with it, but boy,
We haven't
never
ever.
works for me. Within a month or two, I can't read them. So
It like washes off or something.
we're
Oh, I don't
have
actually
any
know where any are right
flags
now.
out here right now.
Well,
Here's-
okay, so
here's one. Let's mark the
we'll do one and then we'll do the rest off camera.
That's,
Show them a grease pen just in case they don't know.
yeah, some people call these China markers, but they're easy to find at actually most stores. Say today is 9/15, I think, and this is
Geranium.
hormone.
Or, oh, yeah. I'm like geranium, but yeah, we're marking hormone and non-hormone. We know what's in the,
Oh, but you know what?
cut it in, yeah. And that way we can close the lid. And we might have to adjust those, but we'll adjust them later.
No hormone. Okay, then it's really important to water them in. And that is all there is to it.
And so that's how if you have a plant in your yard, you like it, you could have infinite more of the plant. You know, once you've got it, and these are perennials, so many of them, if they don't freeze too hard or whatever, they will come back next year. But these ones here will be in pots, so we can have, so for instance, we have this beautiful basket here. Next year, these could be in their own basket. So it's kind of, you know, an infinite plant loop.
And you can, you know, if you find a plant in a public place, I don't think there's anything wrong at all with going over and sneaking a little piece of it off, taking it home and rooting it. If anyone came into my yard and did that, I would be delighted.
I would encourage them and say, do you need information? Do you need to know how it grows? And when you take just a little bitty tip cutting from a plant, the plant still lives. It does nothing to the plant. It hasn't been removed. And I don't know if you remember this, Dad, but back when I was a little kid, we went to Disneyland and they had a beautiful rose or something. And you told me, you said, run in. I jumped a little fence and I ran into the bed and I got the cutting for you and we brought it home and planted it. And it did not hurt the plant, you know, at Disneyland.
Yeah, nobody missed it.
But I felt like Evel Knievel, you know, I did it. I was just a little kid. All right, so these will go in under the grow lights and then we will update as they start to root. And then for sure next spring, when we're planting them and everything like that.
Let's just really quickly, this will only take a minute. Let's pot up some of these roses.
Okay, good.
This is that half compost, half
Coconut shell, coconut,
cocoa core.
cocoa core.
I'm going to stick that tag in so we know when we stuck them. And then I'm just going to...
So we have these miniature roses growing in like a 12-inch pot. No, they're in 12-inch pots, right? They could be in the ground. They could be in a 12-inch pot. That's not really relevant.
Miniature rose, so
It's a miniature rose. Maybe this
Let's
one's...
see the roots. I mean, that's fabulous rooting.
And that's only been... When was it?
You know,
8.
You'd pay $5 or $6 a piece for these. I think we got 30 of them in here.
And 8/12, we planted them. So that's not even a
So
long
it's like
time.
5 weeks.
That's not even a long time.
And you know, we don't need 30 of these, so we'll probably give these away, or
We could donate them to fundraisers. We can give them to a neighbor. Anything.
I'm gonna pull this flower off so that it doesn't. But look at that. I mean, I am very impressed. And a lot
Me
of
too.
people,
Begonias root very slowly, so this has been very begonias root very slowly. So this has been very fun for me to see how quickly.
everyone so far, we've lost a one. And a lot of people get really panicky about putting the plants in and being careful that they don't crush any roots. And
Plants are. Everybody thinks that if you touch a plant, it's going to break in half and die, and that's just not the case. Look at those roots.
Almost too many roots. I'm
Yeah.
going to get them all in
So we
there.
made a bigger hole, and then I wish you just kind of mush them in and cover them with the soil, and it'll be fine. So he's poking the roots in, and then he just kind of, kind of pinches the soil around them so they're covered, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Here's this second one.
Do we have a marker for it so we can know which is which? Since they're all in the same.
That's the same variety.
Oh, I forgot. I thought it was two. We do have another miniature rose that we wanted to take cuttings on, but we haven't gotten to it yet. So again, you're just dumping it out. People might think, my gosh, they're all gonna die. They're just babies. We can't dump them. But look, did you see those roots when it was upside down? You can see them just snaking along.
Man, I'm impressed with how well he's rooted. This was a new potting mix that I haven't used before. Commercial potting mixes, there's some really bad ones out there. And if you go to a place like Home Depot or one of the chain stores that prides themselves on price, they usually get it that cheap by using poor ingredients. And potting soil is not cheap if stuff doesn't grow in it.
Yeah. And later we will make videos of how we do the compost.
See, this one rooted less, but look at all the callus tissue right there. Those are going to all be roots in a week or two, or a few days even.
Wait, hold it back up one more time for a second for the people to see. It's the
Those
little white dot thingies. That's what.
That's callus tissue, and that's
And
cells differentiating into roots, so they will become roots within days.
And I'm not great at focusing this camera yet, so hopefully you guys can all see it.
But this is...
And so, yeah, see, he just uses his finger to poke a hole, and then the plant goes in. It's very simple. And you don't need to be deeply concerned thinking, oh, I'm manhandling this plant, because plants are tougher than that.
Yeah. In fact, breaking the roots up some actually makes for a better root system ultimately. That's the problem with everyone buying all their plants now in cell packs, is they don't get any root pruning, and they're often root bound. This one's got so many roots, I'm just going to cut some of them off.
And just make it easier to plant. And it's really not a big deal.
No, this plant, though.
It's good.
Not
Yeah,
even
that's
yet.
looking good.
Boy, we got a lot here. I'm only going to plant 20. Okay, I think that's enough.
And then we can see how it goes, and if we want more, we can, that's the thing. If we want more, we can always do more.
Yeah, it's not hard. Well, we've got a red miniature rose out front that I just fallen in love with.
Yeah.
I want to take cuttings off it sometime before it gets too cold.
Yeah, there's time frames we have to do it in, but just assuming that we'll be here next year, each year you can do it again and again.
Okay, and then once again, it's very important to water these in.
And they are a little stressed when you first plant them, and
Yeah,
that's...
they will sometimes wilt a little bit.
Yeah, they'll wilt a little bit, and they get a little stressed out. And so obviously you want to water your plants anyways. The soil was dry. But this helps them stress out a little bit less if you kind of keep them, really damp the first day or two.
I don't know if you want to put this on video, but I do have some foxglove here that
Yeah.
need transplanted.
Foxgloves are
desperately.
beautiful. And they're sort of annuals, sort of
They're
perennials.
biennial.
Yeah, so it's good by I'm like you're like there's a word for it, it's biennial. So they're biennials.
that means
So eventually you go
Plant them
ahead.
in the fall like this, and they'll bloom next spring. But they need to go through a winter before they'll bloom.
But then after 2 years they might not grow again. So so it's better if you know how to I'm sorry, is this from seed?
This is from seed,
Yeah.
and these are really much bigger than they should be to transplant, but
They'll survive.
they'll survive.
So we grew these from seed. Does the pic say what time they were planted?
Yeah. $7:30, so 30th of July.
30th of July.
And these are some hollyhocks that we planted at the same time. I did transplant 12 of those, and 12 hollyhocks is enough.
Yeah, that's a lot for 1 yard. Beautiful though. It's gonna be so beautiful.
But
Yeah. So all right. Well, we
you
grow
can
these.
just tear these apart and stuff them in. And that is the foxglove.
And we'll water that into. It's right now in a bonsai pot, which is funny to me. Very, very fancy.
Okay. So now we need to clean up our mess, and we're done.
And so we just did that. This has been 30 minutes, and we're gonna have 30 miniature roses. We're gonna have foxgloves. We're gonna have geraniums. We're gonna have lemon balm, rosemary, and thyme. 30 minutes, and that's what it cost us. Is 30 minutes, some water, and some
And
soil.
there's some potting soil involved.
Well, and I
but
guess we have the little sticks.
Not much. Most of that was homemade compost. So, yeah. So that was fun. This is some pansies that we planted at the same time and transplanted them some time ago. I didn't put the transplant date, but
And pansies are wonderful because they are perennial here, and they're just sort of a joy.
okay. These I think have drained enough that we can take them in the house now. But that is the other important thing is you have to have drainage holes in the bottom of these. But if you're going to root them in the house, you also need water.
Okay, wait, don't go in the house for the video. Stay out here and end it.
You need a waterproof tray underneath to
Yeah.
where you kind of make a mess.
Otherwise, the water will pool out. All right, so September
15th.
15th, 2025. Rooting cuttings.
Propagation.
All right.